So without further ado, again, we're always going to transition now into a client coaching part of our time together. Today, it's going to look a little bit different. This is not so much client coaching as it's going to be another one of your All Access members, and a fellow EntreLeader that's actively being generous in his business. And we want to hear a little bit more about how he does that in practice, give you all an opportunity to ask him questions about what that transition looked like and the thought behind it and everything. So we want to bring to you Rusty Fulling of Fulling Management and Accounting. I think we got Rusty with us. Can you hear us all right, Rusty?
Yep. Sounds good.
Well,
can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Loud and clear. It's great to have you with us. Again, thank you for being with us so last minute. We had a little bit of a change to bring you on, but the generosity that you show with your team is something that we've noticed and we've seen from a distance, and just like, man, this just makes sense to talk to you about. What does this look like in your team? We would just love to hear a little about, like, what does that look like? How do y'all do it, and what do you do?
Yeah. Give you a little history about probably about 4 years ago. I'd come to just I'm going to call it a bit of a burnout stage, and just thinking, man, I don't know, the business was going okay, but we were just kind of at that point. I just come back from a mission trip and just thought, I'm just going to sell everything here and run off to the mission field. It's just one of those. It looks greener over there. And I remember getting back here and people saying, your platform as a business owner here is a much greater, and you can make a bigger impact here for others in your business doing serving. And so we started thinking about, how do we incorporate that more into our business so that we're not separating. A lot of people call it spiritual time and secular time. And so we tried to incorporate those. So we actually built in serve events as part of our big, hairy, audacious goals that we hit each year. And so that's part of our kind of how this thing got started, really taking some, getting that momentum going.
Gosh, that's great. So I just heard you say, and I wanted to say it again because I think it was really good, was that your platform is greater in business while doing serving. While incorporating that into what you do. Like, you're able to be more effective in the marketplace, essentially, is what you're saying.
Oh, it's a blast. We part of I'll show you real quick. We've got a little, kind of the mountain. A lot of you guys have seen that before, and we got our yearly goals. And one of our goals this year was to have 150 serving opportunities. And I thought, oh my goodness, our team is less than 10, so 150. And so we're inviting family members and so forth. But we did a mission trip, and again, we went back down to Honduras on this one. And the cool thing is our whole community got involved. We had a school that's right down the road, and the kids made things for the kids in Honduras. We had businesses jumping on board, churches. So the cool thing, as a business, we got to impact our local community and serving another community. So that was so exciting. And so anyway, that's just part of what the why behind what we get to do, what we do.
Well, that is incredible. Well, I know that I'm always going to have tons of questions. Like, what are your thoughts for Rusty? What are you thinking?
Yeah, so Rusty, I'm super curious how you feel like this has changed you as a leader, and how this has changed your team dynamic as well.
Yeah, it's fun. When we go through the hiring process, we ask two questions, for kind of a screener type question. Mm-hmm. The first is, what's the last 3 books you've read? Oh, readers are leaders, right? So what last 3 books? And the other is, what do you know about our company, and how do you see yourself making a difference in our culture, or kind of the culture type question. And it's amazing, those folks that are really good fits jump all over the serving piece. And we actually have a page on our website now that talk about the different serve events, because we want that to be part of their DNA like it is ours. And so, and what's really neat, I used to drive all the serve events. We do a rescue mission event where we go down and get to feed the homeless and get to have dinner with them and different projects. And now our team is taking those on. Hey, I want to be in charge of this one. I want to be in charge of it. And it's great, So anyway, I'm just holding on for the ride and letting them run this thing. So it's awesome.
Well, that's incredible. I know that, like, from the leadership side, this just makes sense to you. Like, you want to do the mission stuff. Like, this just kind of scratches your itch. This fills up your heart. I'd be interested to know that in the beginning, though, whenever it comes to being generous, and giving, there's going to be that initial deposit of time and money that goes in there that could wig people out, because it's like, if I don't get stuff done, it's not going to happen around here, or if we don't use that money for the business, it's not going to happen. What was that point for you, or how did you get over that initial kind of bristle of like, well, this is my money, this is my time?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Sometimes just doing small things. We don't, our whole team doesn't run off out of the country for trips. Last week, we closed 2 hours early and went downtown Olathe, Kansas, where we lived, and we did the Boys and Girls Club program where we got to read to the kids. And so it was just a fun, no cost, something we got to do in our local community. And some of our team members' spouses joined us for that. And I mean, you talk about just some crazy cool feedback. Plus, what a great team building opportunity, to get to do something together and to serve somebody else. So I'll tell you, if nothing else, the team building you get just from those local things. We've done things on Saturdays. We've gone to like food pantries on a Saturday. So that way, again, there wasn't a cost and out of pocket. I got to write a check out. So I would encourage folks, just do something small like that, just as a fun event.
Yeah. I love hearing generosity is more than just the finances, right? And that's in knowing a little bit of Rusty's story, that is one of the reasons why we ask him to come on here is we want to paint a bigger picture for what it means to be generous. And so Rusty lives this out with his team within the U.S. and abroad. And so I think that's something that's huge as well, because there are some team members that maybe have limitations where they can't go overseas. And so Rusty, 2 hours, right? Like you say, that didn't cost you anything, but that was 2 hours of productivity. Yeah, I was like, just a tad.
Yeah.
And so that's what I love, right? It's the intentionality of saying, hey, like we're here for more than just us, and how can we make a difference in our community? And so closing 2 hours and going to the local Boys and Girls Club. I mean, what a vision you're casting over your team members, but also for those kiddos, right? When they see a business coming in and going, whoa, this is what business is about. Like they get to come and hang out with us. Like, Rusty, I think that's amazing how you are investing in the future generations. Well done, sir.
It's those ripples.
Yes, exactly.
You're making ripples.
It does. We've got a real quick. We got a team member out in California that has horses, and she goes, "Hey, could I do equestrian therapy? Would that count towards our serving?" Oh my goodness, what an awesome thing! Something she's already involved with, and she gets to do just a natural. I want to work with kids that have gone through trauma and use my horses, my gifts that I already have. And that's what I've loved. It's been amazing the difference that's made on our team. And really, there's a book that just came out by David Green, founder of Hobby Lobby, called "Giving It All Away and Getting It Back Again." And I'll be honest, I haven't started the book yet, but I just got it. But just that thinking through is like, man, what if you gave it all away? And sometimes it doesn't come back all in cash. Don't get me wrong, but anyway, it's just been neat to see some of that impact. So
that's incredible. Well, I know we got a couple questions for you, so if you don't mind, we'll put you on the hot seat.
Oh no,
I know. They're good questions though. But Sarah had asked, Rusty, you asked them in the interview process, what do you know about our company's service mentality, and how could you contribute to that element of our culture? How did that go? How does that conversation go?
I love it. In fact, it's just a little written, like when people apply, it's like, hey, send your resume and answer these 2 questions, okay? People that say, I've never heard of your company, but let me tell you how good I am. That's what they answer. And you're going, okay, next, and so it's really easy. It's just one of those things that help you see what people gravitate to. Hey, I'm looking to make a job change. Well, that doesn't, we're not looking for that type of person. We're looking for somebody who's passionate about our culture and what we're all about. And so yes, we've gotten a tremendous amount of value out of that particular question.
That's great. I know Megan came up with something that I think it's more on the Ramsey side for the question, but I'd be interested to hear your take on it too.
Okay.
Is that, as you heard Dave say in the video, we don't give out of the business. We'll give out of Dave takes it, puts it in the foundation to where it's a little bit more off the books. It's a little bit more private.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see what do you do in terms of giving from your business, or how do you do that to where it's you know, like you said, not about me, it's about that. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, and I think Dave said none of your business. Was that it? No, I'm just kidding you. I'm just kidding. So probably 3 or 4 years ago, we discovered a group called the National Christian Foundation. They've got several offices around the country, and they have what's called donor advised funds. And I'm getting around to your answer here, but basically what we do is we do allocate dollars from the company as charitable contributions, and we put into this fund, and it really acts as kind of like the Ramsey Foundation or Ramsey Trust that you guys have.
Yeah.
And then out of that donor advised fund, then we can give anonymously. We can give, with our name on it, however we want to do it. But it does separate it, so we're not cutting a check to, charities directly from our company. Does that make sense a little bit?
It does.
So it's kind of like having your own trust.
Yep.
And for those people that are interested in something like that, just look up National Christian Foundation, and that'll give you a donor advised fund is what that's called. So you can look at that and see what, if that's of interest to you guys.
The only thing that I would have as a follow-up to that I think would be beneficial for Megan is, why did you choose to do it that way?
Well, and kind of like what Dave talked about, there are certain things that, you may want to have some, you don't want your name on necessarily. It also simplifies giving. We can kind of put everything here. It puts a third party actually in place that manages our giving, and we can actually go to our family, our individual family. We'll sit down and we'll talk about, who do we want to give to this year, and then we'll use that fund to then give throughout the year. So it's really developing that next level. Even though my kids aren't going to be involved in our company, just because they have no interest in accounting, that's a great way to get them involved in learning to give and that whole concept. So.
Mm-hmm. I'll stop being a question hog. What do you got?
No, I was just going to hit Barry's question. Barry's saying it seems like Rusty is giving to from the business, whereas Dave does not. Is there a difference in philosophy here? So Rusty, just to clarify, well, I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah, I don't, not necessarily. I mean, Dave, different business owners do it different ways. So no, I would say, at the end of the day, it sounds like, both are giving. I think Dave set up a separate fund over here, and I don't know exactly how that's being funded, but
Yeah. So, Rusty, before we let you go, I think where I get curious for a small business owner is at the beginning you said I was really burned out, and that's when I started moving towards generosity. So, talk to us now. Help us see, you stepped into being generous with your resources. I'm just going to say resources.
Yeah.
How has that changed who you are today and how you lead your small business?
Yeah, great question. I read a book called Halftime by Bob Buford, and Bob talks about moving from a life of success to a life of significance. And so part of that is, all of us, as business owners, we've got this, mentality. We need the car, we need the house, we need, whatever. At some point, how do we take that and move? It's not about us, and so in fact, kind of the theme that we've adopted towards our BHAG is going beyond you. How do we go beyond ourselves? So, part of that's really taken a little bit of the focus off of how do we grow. The Rusty's bank account can grow. Mm-hmm. But boy, what if we could grow and make an impact on communities locally, regionally, and around the world? So that it's just redefined the why for us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Rusty, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for being on here. Guys, our heart behind this is just to continue for you guys to have a vision on what being generous looks like. And so often and Dave talks to us about this all the time, we're often blessed more in giving than we feel like those who we've given to. And so, Rusty, thank you so much for being on here today, for being willing to share your journey. You're such a rock star. We appreciate you being here with us today.
Yep.
So
everybody say thanks.
Thank you.
Say thanks to Rusty, everybody. Thanks him for being with us today. Hope that you're taking away some good stuff.